The Discovery. The massive alien vessel loomed before Commander Sarah Chen's patrol ship like a cathedral adrift in space, its hull patterns shifting in mesmerizing waves of dark metal. Her sensors had picked up the distress beacon purely by chance, a faint pulse of quantum radiation that didn't match any known human frequency. Now, face to face with the enormous supply ship, Sarah felt her throat tighten with equal parts excitement and apprehension. "Control, this is Commander Chen. I'm initiating boarding procedures," she reported, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Vessel appears to be of unknown origin, approximately 3 kilometers in length. No signs of active power signatures except for basic life support." The response from Earth Space Command crackled through her comm system. "Acknowledged, Commander. Remember protocol. This is strictly reconnaissance. Do not engage any automated systems." Sarah allowed herself a small smile as she guided her ship toward what appeared to be a docking port. 20 years of space exploration had taught humanity one thing: protocols were made to be adapted. The massive ship's design suggested an advanced civilization, and its presence in Earth's solar system couldn't be ignored. Her ship's AI matched the alien docking mechanism with surprising ease, as if the two technologies had been designed to be compatible. The airlocks cycled, filling with breathable atmosphere. Sarah checked her environmental suit's readings twice before removing her helmet. The air was clean, but carried an odd metallic taste. The corridor before her stretched into darkness, illuminated only by strips of bioluminescent material that pulsed with a gentle blue light. Her boots made no sound on the metal floor, some kind of sound-dampening technology, she noted. Every few meters, the walls featured strange, flowing patterns that seemed to respond to her presence. "This is incredible," she muttered, recording everything through her suit's cameras. The technology level was far beyond anything humanity had achieved, yet something felt off. The ship was too quiet, too empty. Her handheld scanner picked up faint power signatures deeper within the vessel. Following them led her through a maze of corridors that seemed to shift and change behind her. If not for her suit's mapping function, she would have been hopelessly lost. The first sign of trouble came when she reached what appeared to be the ship's central control room. Holographic displays flickered weakly, showing diagrams of ship systems she could barely comprehend. But one display caught her attention immediately, a pulsing red warning icon that needed no translation. "Control, I'm picking up critical system failures throughout the vessel," she reported. "The ship's water recycling system is, well, I think it's failing. And there's something else." Her scanner had detected life signs, dozens of them, but they were faint, as if suspended. Following the readings led her to a vast chamber that took her breath away. Rows of translucent pods lined the walls, each containing a humanoid figure. Their skin had a silvery sheen, and their features were elegantly elongated, but they were undeniably similar to humans in basic form. "I found the crew," she whispered. "They're in some kind of stasis, but the pods are showing critical warnings. Without the water system," she didn't need to finish the thought, "the alien crew would die." A sudden movement caught her eye. One of the pods was different from the others, its occupants stirring slightly. The being inside was tall, with silver-toned skin and features that seemed almost crystalline. Its eyes were beginning to flutter. Sarah's training told her to retreat, to wait for backup. But the failing systems wouldn't wait. The pod's occupant might be their only chance to save the others. With a deep breath, she approached the pod and began studying its control interface. "Control, I'm initiating emergency revival procedures on one of the crew members," she reported, her fingers moving across the alien controls that somehow felt familiar under her touch. "Negative, Commander. Wait for the xenobiology team." The pod's surface rippled like mercury, and the alien's eyes snapped open. They were solid silver, with no visible pupils, yet Sarah could feel the intelligence behind them. The being's mouth moved, forming words she couldn't understand, but the urgency in its voice was clear. The ship's lighting suddenly dimmed, and a low vibration ran through the deck plates. More warning signals began flashing across the holographic displays. They were running out of time. Sarah made a decision. She reached out her hand to the alien, palm up in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "I'm Commander Sarah Chen of Earth Space Command," she said clearly. "Your ship is in danger. Will you let me help you?" The alien studied her for a long moment, silver eyes unblinking. Then slowly it extended its own hand. Its skin had a texture like fine silk over steel, cool, but not cold to the touch. When it spoke again, its voice had a musical quality that seemed to bypass her ears and resonate directly in her mind. "I am Kavril, Chief Engineer," it said, the words somehow translating themselves in Sarah's consciousness. "And yes, Commander Sarah Chen of Earth, we need your help. Our ship holds secrets that must not be lost." The deck shuddered beneath them, and more warning lights began to flash. Whatever was wrong with the water recycling system, it was getting worse. Sarah had a feeling she'd just volunteered for much more than a simple reconnaissance mission. But as she looked at Kavril, she saw something familiar in those alien eyes: determination, intelligence, and hope. This was why she'd joined Space Command, not just to explore, but to make a difference. And now she had the chance to do both, assuming they could solve the crisis before it was too late. The next few hours would either mark humanity's greatest first contact success or its most tragic failure. Kavril's silver eyes narrowed as it studied the holographic displays. "The primary coolant system is failing," it said. "Without it, the stasis pods will begin to degrade. We have perhaps 6 hours before the damage becomes irreversible." Sarah nodded, her mind already racing through possibilities. "Then we have 6 hours to save your crew. Show me your systems, Kavril. Let's see what human and alien engineering can accomplish together." The challenge ahead was immense, but as she followed Kavril toward the engineering section, Sarah felt a surge of excitement. This was humanity's chance to prove itself to an advanced civilization, not through warfare or diplomacy, but through the universal language of problem-solving and cooperation. The real test was just beginning. First contact. The engineering section of the alien vessel resembled a living organism more than a mechanical space. Crystalline structures pulsed with internal light, and what appeared to be liquid metal flowed through transparent conduits in complex patterns. Sarah watched as Kavril's long fingers danced across holographic interfaces, each movement precise and deliberate. "Your water recycling system," Sarah said, studying the diagrams that floated before them. "It's not just for life support, is it?" Kavril's silver eyes flickered with what might have been approval. "You perceive correctly, Commander. Water is fundamental to our technology. It serves as coolant, computational medium, and life force. The humans of Earth view water as a simple compound. We understand it as a bridge between matter and energy." Sarah moved closer to the display, her mind racing. The alien engineering was incredibly advanced, yet she could see familiar patterns in its design. "These flow regulators," she pointed to a series of crystalline nodes. "They're failing because of mineral buildup, like arterial plaque in a human heart." "The analogy is apt," Kavril replied, its voice carrying a note of surprise. "Our ship's systems are biological in nature. The water must remain pure, or the entire network begins to deteriorate. When we entered emergency stasis, the filtration systems were damaged. Over time, the contamination spread." A sudden alarm pierced the air, its pitch modulating in a way that set Sarah's teeth on edge. New warning symbols appeared in the holographic display, their angry red glow reflecting off Kavril's metallic skin. "The primary coolant loop is approaching critical temperature," Kavril announced, its usually musical voice tight with concern. "If it fails, the cascade effect will." "Show me the filtration system," Sarah interrupted. She pulled up the environmental specifications from her suit's computer. "Human blood is mostly water, and we developed sophisticated filtration systems for long-term space travel. If we can adapt our technology." Kavril's expression changed in a way Sarah couldn't quite interpret. You would risk combining your primitive technology with our systems. The consequences of failure would be catastrophic. Primitive. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best. Your system is elegant, but it's dying from the equivalent of kidney failure. We may not have your level of technology, but we've been dealing with water purification since our civilization began. She pulled up the schematics for her ship's water recycling system on her tablet. Look, your crystalline matrices are more advanced, but the basic principles are the same. If we can create a hybrid system using your processing power and our filtration methods. Kavril studied the human schematics, its head tilted in a surprisingly human gesture of consideration. The interface would be problematic. Our systems operate on quantum principles your technology cannot. Another alarm joined the first, and the deck beneath them shuddered. The flowing patterns in the walls began to pulse with an ominous red glow. We don't have time for theoretical debates, Sarah said firmly. I need you to trust me, Kavril. Humans may be new to deep space, but we're very good at improvising under pressure. For a moment, the alien engineer was silent, its silver eyes unreadable. Then it reached out and touched one of the crystalline nodes. The holographic display expanded, showing the ship's entire water circulation system in intricate detail. The primary injection point is here, Kavril said. If your filtration system can be modified to handle our carrier medium, we might be able to clean enough of the system to restore basic functionality. But the interface will require precise calibration. Any error could trigger a complete system collapse. Sarah was already removing panels from her environmental suit, accessing its built-in water recycling components. Then we better not make any errors. I'll need tools and something to convert our power systems. You would dismantle your own life support. Kavril's voice carried a new tone, something like respect mixed with concern. My ship's systems can sustain me for 12 hours, Sarah replied, not looking up from her work. If we haven't solved this by then, life support will be the least of our problems. As they worked, Sarah began to notice something remarkable. Despite their vastly different technologies and backgrounds, she and Kavril fell into an efficient rhythm. The alien's knowledge of quantum engineering complemented her practical experience with water systems. When she suggested using sonic pulses to break up the mineral deposits, Kavril quickly adapted the ship's acoustic systems to generate the required frequencies. Your species, Kavril said as they carefully integrated the human filtration system into the alien network, you are younger than we expected, yet you show remarkable adaptability. That's our specialty, Sarah replied, carefully adjusting the power flow. Humanity's greatest achievements often came from having to solve problems with limited resources. We learn to work with what we have. The hybrid system they created was far from elegant, human technology grafted onto alien crystals, held together by improvised interfaces and Sarah's modified suit components. But as they initiated the startup sequence, the angry red warnings began to fade. Primary coolant flow stabilizing, Kavril announced. Contamination levels dropping. The system is accepting the modifications. Sarah watched as clean water began flowing through the previously clouded conduits. Sometimes the best solution isn't the most advanced one. We just needed tow. Her words were cut off by a deep vibration that ran through the entire ship. The lighting shifted to a deep purple, and new holographic warnings appeared around them. Kavril, what's happening? The alien engineer's silver skin had taken on a darker hue. The ship's defensive systems are activating. They recognize the introduction of foreign technology as a potential threat. The automated protocols are resisting our modifications. Can we override them? No. Kavril's response was grim. The security systems are isolated from main engineering. They operate on their own network, and they are designed to protect the ship from technological infiltration. Your modifications, despite their effectiveness, have triggered a deep-level security response. The vibrations intensified, and Sarah could hear distant machinery coming to life. They had solved one problem only to trigger a potentially worse one. Now they faced a race against time, not just to save the sleeping crew, but to prevent the ship's own defensive systems from destroying their solution. Sarah looked at the complex displays surrounding them, then at her alien companion. "Tell me everything you know about these security systems. If we can't shut them down, maybe we can convince them we're not a threat." Kavril's silver eyes met hers. "Such a thing has never been attempted. The defensive protocols are absolute." "Then we'll be the first to succeed," Sarah said with a confidence she didn't entirely feel. "That's another human specialty, doing the impossible." The ship's vibrations grew stronger, and somewhere in the distance, she heard the distinctive sound of security barriers slamming into place. Their time was running out, but Sarah felt a familiar surge of adrenaline. This was where humans excelled, turning desperate situations into opportunities for innovation. She just hoped this particular innovation wouldn't get them both killed. The crisis. The ship's defensive systems announced their full activation with a symphony of alarms. Barrier fields flickered to life in doorways, their surfaces rippling with dangerous energy. Sarah watched as sections of the wall began to transform, revealing weapon ports and sensor arrays that had been invisible moments before. "The security protocols are operating exactly as designed," Kavril said, its fingers moving rapidly across multiple holographic interfaces. "They detect unknown technology integrating with critical systems and respond with increasing levels of force until the threat is eliminated." Eliminated? Sarah checked her tablet's readings. "You mean they'll destroy the hybrid filtration system we just created? That would kill everyone in stasis." "The protocols prioritize protecting the ship's technological secrets above all else." Kavril's silver skin had taken on a darker, almost stormy hue. "Our civilization has survived for millennia by preventing our advanced technology from falling into unprepared hands." A mechanical grinding sound echoed through the corridors, and Sarah's tablet showed multiple robotic security units activating throughout the ship. They were being surrounded. "Well, that's not happening today," Sarah said, her mind already racing through possibilities. "Your people didn't survive all those millennia just to die from overprotective software. Show me the security system's core architecture." Kavril hesitated. "Those schematics are restricted even from most of my people. I cannot." "Your people are going to die, Kavril." Sarah's voice was sharp with urgency. "I know you're worried about protecting your secrets, but right now the biggest threat to your civilization is its own paranoia. Trust has to start somewhere." For a moment, the alien engineer was perfectly still, its silver eyes seeming to look through multiple dimensions of possibility. Then, with a gesture that seemed both resigned and resolute, it activated a new holographic display. The security system's architecture appeared before them, more complex than anything Sarah had ever seen. It wasn't just programming, it was a quantum neural network, alive in its own way, learning and adapting with each perceived threat. "The system is conscious?" Sarah asked, studying the flowing patterns of data. "Not as you would understand consciousness," Kavril replied. "It is selective. It learns from every encounter, every threat, and it has never encountered human technology before." A crash echoed from a nearby corridor. The security robots were getting closer. Sarah forced herself to focus on the display, looking for patterns, weaknesses, anything they could use. Then she saw it. "Kavril, your security system learns from threats, but what about cooperation? Has it ever encountered a technology that tried to work with it rather than against it?" The alien's expression shifted in what might have been confusion. "The system is designed to identify and neutralize technological threats. The concept of cooperative foreign technology is not within its parameters." "Exactly." Sarah began modifying her tablet's transmission protocols. "It's like an immune system that attacks everything foreign, but the most advanced immune systems can learn to recognize allies. We're going to teach your security system the difference between invasion and symbiosis." She connected her tablet directly to the nearest crystal node, ignoring Kavril's sound of alarm. I'm going to make a hybrid system completely transparent to your security protocols. Instead of trying to hide what we've done, we'll show it everything, every modification, every integration point, every way human and alien technology are working together to save your people. The security systems will still identify it as foreign technology, Kavril warned. They will attempt to eliminate. Let me show you something about human technology, Sarah interrupted, her fingers flying across her tablet. We learned early on that the best way to protect our systems wasn't always to make them more aggressive. Sometimes the best defense is to make them more understanding. She activated her modified program. Immediately, the hybrid filtration system began broadcasting its operational data on frequencies the security system could monitor. But instead of appearing as an invasion, the human components presented themselves as willing partners, their functions transparent and their intentions clear. The security robots had reached their corridor. Sarah could see them through the barrier field, sleek, deadly machines designed to eliminate technological threats. They raised their weapons, targeting systems locking onto the hybrid installation. "Come on," Sarah whispered, watching the security system's neural patterns. "Look at what we're actually doing. See the difference." The robots fired, and their energy beams deflected harmlessly away from the hybrid system. On a holographic display, the security system's neural patterns were changing, adapting to something it had never encountered before, technology that offered cooperation instead of resistance. "Remarkable," Kavril breathed, its silver eyes wide. "The security protocols are learning. They're recognizing the hybrid system as beneficial rather than hostile." The weapon ports in the walls retracted. The barrier fields dissolved. Throughout the ship, security robots stood down, their threat assessment protocols fundamentally altered by this new experience. "Sometimes the best way to overcome resistance is to offer partnership instead," Sarah said, allowing herself a small smile. "Your security system wasn't evil or wrong. It just needed to learn that not every unknown technology is a threat." But their victory celebration was cut short by a new alarm. The hybrid filtration system was working, but something else was wrong. The ship's power readings were fluctuating wildly. The security system's activation drained critical power reserves, Krill announced, its voice tense. "The stasis pods are losing stability. We have perhaps 2 hours before their containment fields fail completely." Sarah studied the power distribution diagrams, her momentary triumph fading. "Please tell me this ship has backup power systems." "It does," Krill replied, "but they were damaged in the same attack that forced us into emergency stasis. We never learned who our attackers were. They disabled our systems and fled, leaving us to drift. And now whatever they did is finally about to finish the job," Sarah said grimly. She looked at the complex network of power conduits and quantum generators. "Unless we can find a way to restore power in the next 2 hours." Krill's expression was solemn. "The damage is extensive, and the systems are incredibly complex. Even with my knowledge, repairs would take days." "Then we don't repair them." Sarah straightened, her eyes bright with the beginning of an idea. "We bypass them. You've seen what human and alien technology can do together. Let's take it to the next level." The alien engineer studied her with those silver eyes. "What are you suggesting?" "Something probably impossible and definitely dangerous," Sarah replied. "But since those are humanity's specialties, I think we have a chance. First, I need you to tell me everything about your quantum power systems, and I mean everything." The lives of Kavril's crew hung in the balance, dependent on whether human ingenuity and alien technology could once again combine to perform the impossible. And this time, they had only 2 hours to make it work. Innovation under pressure. Sarah's boots echoed against the deck as she ran alongside Kavril through the ship's winding corridors. The alien vessel's emergency lighting cast everything in a dim purple glow, making the shifting wall patterns seem almost alive with anxiety. "Your patrol ship," Kavril said as they ran, "it uses fusion power. Modified Helios-class reactor, Sarah confirmed. Not as advanced as your quantum systems, but incredibly reliable. And more importantly, compatible with almost anything if you know how to adapt it. They reached her ship's docking port, where the small patrol vessel seemed almost toy-like against the massive alien craft. Sarah quickly initiated emergency override procedures, accessing her ship's core systems. The power requirements for the stasis pods are immense, Kavril warned, studying the human vessel's specifications on a portable holographic display. Your ship's reactor was not designed for such output. No, Sarah agreed, already removing access panels from her ship's power core. But it wasn't designed to fail either. Humanity learned some hard lessons about backup systems and redundancy. Everything in this ship can be pushed beyond its normal limits if you're willing to take risks. The alien engineer's silver skin rippled with concern. The energy conversion alone would normally be impossible, Sarah interrupted, pulling cables and components from her ship's power systems. But we're not doing this normally. Your quantum technology can manipulate energy in ways we've only dreamed of, combined with our ability to improvise and adapt. She looked up at Kavril with determination in her eyes. We're going to build a bridge between our technologies. Working together, they began creating something unprecedented, a hybrid power system that merged human fusion technology with alien quantum mechanics. Sarah's patrol ship's reactor would provide the raw power, while Kavril's knowledge of quantum manipulation would help channel and amplify that energy in ways the human engineers who built the reactor had never imagined possible. These connections are highly unstable, Kavril noted as they integrated the systems. The quantum fluctuations could cascade at any moment. Then we'll give them something to balance against. Sarah pulled up the specifications for her ship's emergency stabilizers. We use these to maintain fusion containment during combat maneuvers, if we can modify them to work with your quantum fields. An hour passed in intense concentration as they worked, racing against time while the stasis pods slowly lost power. Sarah's hands moved with practiced efficiency, adapting human technology in ways its creators never intended, while Kavril's deeper understanding of quantum mechanics helped prevent their modifications from tearing a hole in space-time. Your species, Kavril said during a brief pause to recalibrate some connections, you approach problems differently than mine. We seek perfection, optimization. We grab whatever works and make it better as we go, Sarah finished, wiping sweat from her forehead. Humanity's greatest achievements often came from having our backs against the wall. Give us an impossible problem and limited resources, and we'll find a way. The ship's warning systems suddenly screamed to life. Power levels in the stasis pods were reaching critical lows. It's time, Sarah announced, looking at their hybrid creation. Human power cables merged with crystalline quantum conduits, creating a technological bridge between two civilizations, ready to make history. Kavril's silver eyes studied the jury-rigged system. If this fails, it won't. Sarah's voice was firm, because it can't. Too many eyes depend on it working. She initiated the power-up sequence. Her patrol ship's reactor hummed to life, its fusion core pushing to maximum output. The energy flowed through their modified connections into Kavril's quantum manipulation systems, where impossible physics began to take place. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the hybrid system began to glow with a light that seemed to bend reality around it. Power readings spiked across all displays. The quantum field is stabilizing, Kavril reported, its fingers dancing across holographic controls. Energy conversion is exceeding theoretical limits. How is this possible? Sarah smiled as she fine-tuned the human components. That's the thing about theoretical limits. They only apply until someone proves them wrong. Status of the stasis pods. Power levels rising. The containment fields are... Kavril paused, double-checking its readings. They're stronger than before. The hybrid system isn't just powering them, it's improving their efficiency. Warning klaxons faded into silence as the ship's systems registered stable power restoration. Throughout the vessel, emergency lighting shifted back to normal operation. Their impossible solution was working. "We should document this," Cavril said, its voice carrying a note of wonder. "The quantum mechanics involved, the integration protocols." "Later," Sarah replied, still monitoring the power flows. "Right now we need tow." She was cut off by a new alarm, different from the others. Cavril's silver skin paled to an almost white shade. "Long-range sensors are activating," the alien engineer announced. "They're detecting multiple ships approaching. The energy signature—" Cavril's voice faltered. "It matches the vessels that attacked us before." Sarah quickly accessed the sensor data. The approaching ships were massive, their design unlike anything in human records, and they were on an attack vector. "How long until they reach us?" 17 minutes, Cavril replied. "Our weapons are still offline, and even with restored power, our engines need time to reinitialize." Sarah studied the tactical display, her mind racing. They had a working power system, but no way to fight or flee. "Unless—" "Cavril," she said slowly, "your ship's quantum systems can manipulate energy in ways we never thought possible, and we just proved that human technology can interface with them in new ways." The alien engineer looked at her. "What are you suggesting?" "I'm suggesting we take everything we just learned about combining our technologies and apply it to your weapon systems." Sarah's eyes gleamed with determination. "Let's show your attackers what happens when human ingenuity meets alien quantum mechanics." Cavril's expression shifted to what might have been a smile. "You realize we would be attempting something even more impossible than before." "Exactly," Sarah replied, already gathering tools. "That's when humans do their best work." They had 17 minutes to create a defensive system unlike anything either civilization had ever seen. But after what they'd already accomplished, impossible was starting to feel like just another challenge to overcome. The real question was whether their attackers were ready to face the combined innovation of two species fighting for survival. The confrontation. 15 minutes never felt so short. Sarah and Cavril worked with frantic precision, applying their newfound understanding of hybrid technology to the alien vessel's defensive systems. The approaching hostile ships loomed larger on their sensors with each passing moment. "Your weapons use quantum torpedoes?" Sarah asked, studying the schematics of the alien ship's armament. "Contained quantum singularities," Cavril corrected, its fingers manipulating crystalline control nodes. "They create localized distortions in space-time. Highly effective, but currently inoperable due to power alignment issues." Sarah connected her tablet to the weapon systems, analyzing the energy signatures. "These quantum torpedoes compress space-time using controlled gravitational fields, right? What if we could amplify that effect using modified graviton pulses from my patrol ship's deflector array?" "The power requirements would be—" Cavril paused, its silver eyes widening as it ran the calculations. "Actually possible, with our hybrid power system, but the targeting computers are still offline." "Then we'll do it manually." Sarah was already reconfiguring her patrol ship's sensors to interface with the alien targeting systems. "Human reflexes plus quantum computing. We'll create a hybrid targeting solution." The hostile ships were now close enough to make out their details on the main viewer. Their design was predatory, all sharp angles and weapon ports, their hulls decorated with what appeared to be battle trophies from other vessels. "Pirates," Cavril said, its voice cold. "They prey on advanced ships, stealing technology they don't understand. They attacked us because they detected our quantum drive signatures." "Well, they're about to detect something new." Sarah finished the weapons modifications and brought up the tactical display. "How's our power grid holding?" "Stable, but—" Cavril's voice trailed off as new alerts flashed across their screens. "They're charging weapons. Multiple target locks detected." The pirate vessels spread out in an attack formation, clearly expecting an easy target. Their first volley of energy weapons splashed against the alien ship's hull, testing its defenses. Shields at 60%, Kavril reported. They're stronger than before thanks to a hybrid power system, but they won't hold forever. Sarah's hands flew across the controls, making final adjustments to their modified weapons. Time to show them why it's a bad idea to attack ships with human ingenuity on board. Kavril, charge the quantum torpedoes. Route power through my ship's deflector array on my mark. The pirates launched a second attack wave, more powerful than the first. The entire ship shuddered under the impact. Shields at 40%, Kavril announced. They're targeting our power core. They must detect the unusual energy signature. Perfect. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. They're curious about our hybrid technology. Let's give them a closer look. Fire Quantum Torpedo 1, Modified Targeting Solution. The weapon launched, its normal blue-white energy trail now shot through with golden pulses from the human deflector array. The pirates easily evaded its apparent trajectory, exactly as Sarah had planned. Now, Kavril, activate the graviton pulse. The alien engineer triggered the modified human technology. Instantly, the quantum torpedo's gravitational field expanded exponentially, catching the nearest pirate ship in a web of distorted space-time. The vessel's shields crumpled under forces they were never designed to resist. Direct hit, Kavril reported, a note of amazement in its musical voice. Their primary power system is offline. The gravitational amplification exceeded all theoretical models. That's why we don't rely too heavily on theoretical models, Sarah replied, already targeting the next ship. Sometimes you have to trust your instincts and... The ship rocked violently as the remaining pirates launched a coordinated attack. Warning signals screamed across multiple displays. Shields failing. Kavril's fingers danced across the controls. They're adapting their weapons to match our shield frequency. Sarah quickly analyzed the attack pattern. They're used to fighting advanced technology, but they've never faced technology that can adapt like ours. Kavril, remember how we got past your security systems? Let's try the same trick here. Understanding flickered in the alien's silver eyes. Together, they began modifying their hybrid systems again, but this time with a new purpose. Instead of just defending against the pirates' attacks, they began broadcasting their shield modifications on frequencies the enemy could detect. They'll think they're intercepting our shield codes, Sarah explained as they worked. But what they're actually getting is an invitation to interface with our hybrid technology, Kavril finished. And when they attempt to use that information, the pirates took the bait. Their next attack attempted to exploit what they thought were vulnerabilities in the shield grid. Instead, their weapon's energy was caught in a quantum feedback loop, amplified by human technology, and reflected back at them with devastating force. 2 more pirate ships lost power, their systems overloaded by their own weapons. The remaining vessels began to retreat, but Sarah wasn't finished. One more surprise, she said, activating their final modification. The hybrid power system surged, channeling energy in ways neither human nor alien engineers had ever intended. A wave of quantum distortion rippled out from their ship, catching the fleeing pirates in a field of twisted space-time. Their engines are disabled, Kavril reported. All hostile vessels are now immobilized. Sarah let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. Send a message on all frequencies. Tell them if they ever attack another ship in this sector, we'll show them what our hybrid technology can really do. The pirates' response came quickly, a hasty retreat as soon as the quantum field dissipated, their ships limping away into deep space. They had come expecting to find easy prey and instead had encountered something unprecedented, the combined defensive capabilities of 2 civilizations. We should recover their ships, Kavril suggested. Study their technology, learn why they... No, Sarah interrupted. We let them go. Let them spread the word about what happened here. Sometimes the best defense is a reputation. The alien engineer was quiet for a moment, studying her with those silver eyes. You could have destroyed them completely. Our weapons were capable of it. Why show mercy? Because that's another human trait worth learning, Sarah replied. Winning isn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's about teaching others to make better choices. As they began damage assessment and repairs, Sarah couldn't help but smile. What had started as a simple patrol had led to first contact, technological breakthroughs, and a decisive victory. But more importantly, it had proved something she had always believed, that the greatest achievements come not from overwhelming force, but from combining different strengths in new ways. The real question now was what other possibilities might emerge from this unprecedented collaboration between human and alien technology. Kavril seemed to read her thoughts. The Council will want to study everything we've created here. This hybrid technology, it changes many things. It changes everything, Sarah agreed, and we're just getting started. New horizons. 3 days after the battle, the alien supply ship hummed with renewed energy. The hybrid power systems had not only stabilized, but had begun showing unexpected benefits. Throughout the vessel, human and alien technology worked in harmony, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. Sarah stood in the stasis chamber, watching as Kavril supervised the careful revival of the last group of crew members. The process had taken days, each pod requiring precise calibration to ensure its occupants' safe awakening. The room buzzed with quiet conversations in both human and alien languages, a symphony of first contact multiplied dozens of times over. Your solution with the water recycling system, Kavril said, approaching her after finalizing the last revival sequence. It has improved beyond our initial modifications. The hybrid technology is evolving. Sarah checked the readings on her tablet. The original emergency fix had indeed grown into something more sophisticated. Human filtration methods combined with alien quantum processing had created a system that was more efficient than either civilization had achieved alone. That's the thing about combining different approaches, she replied. Sometimes you get unexpected benefits. My people have a saying, necessity is the mother of invention, but maybe cooperation is the father of innovation. A tall, elegant alien in what appeared to be formal attire approached them. Their silver skin had patterns that seemed to shift with authority, and even Kavril straightened respectfully. Commander Chen, the alien said, that a voice carrying harmonics that suggested high rank. I am First Speaker Lyra. On behalf of the Council, I must express our profound gratitude. Sarah inclined her head respectfully. I was just doing my job, First Speaker. Although I admit, first contact wasn't exactly in my patrol route briefing. Indeed, Lyra's silver eyes seemed to look beyond the physical realm. For millennia, our civilization has prided itself on technological superiority. We believed advancement came from refinement, from pushing our existing knowledge to new heights. Yet in mere days, your improvisations have challenged many of our fundamental assumptions. With respect, First Speaker, Sarah said carefully, sometimes the best advances come from questioning assumptions. Humans learned that lesson through countless trials and errors. We had to innovate because we couldn't perfect. Yes, Kavril has shared detailed reports of your methods. Lyra gestured to the hybrid systems around them. This integration of technologies, it should not have been possible. Our security protocols should have prevented it. Our quantum mechanics should have rejected it. Yet here it stands, functioning better than either technology alone. Kavril stepped forward. First Speaker, I believe Commander Chen's approach offers us a new paradigm. One that suggests true advancement comes not from isolation and refinement, but from cooperation and adaptation. A paradigm the Council is very interested in exploring further. Lyra turned back to Sarah. We have contacted your Earth Space Command. They are quite interested in establishing formal diplomatic relations. Sarah couldn't help but smile. I imagine finding out one of their patrol commanders accidentally created an alliance with an advanced alien civilization made for an interesting briefing. There is nothing accidental about innovation, Commander, Lyra corrected. Your actions were born of necessity, yes, but they were guided by principles that we are only now beginning to understand. The ability to see beyond established limits, to find connections where none seemed possible, to trust in cooperation rather than confrontation. These are traits our civilization needs to learn. A soft chime sounded throughout the ship. On nearby displays, data streamed in multiple languages, the first successful integration of human and alien computer systems. What had started as emergency modifications was slowly growing into a true technological synthesis. "We're establishing a joint research initiative," Kirill announced, obvious excitement in their voice. "Teams from both our civilizations working together to explore the potential of hybrid technology. The Council has approved unprecedented access to our quantum engineering secrets in exchange for studying human adaptive techniques." And Lyra added, "We would like you, Commander Chen, to serve as the primary liaison for this initiative. Your unique approach to problem-solving, combined with your first-hand experience with our technology, makes you ideally suited for the role." Sarah looked around the chamber, at aliens and humans working together, at technologies merging in ways neither civilization had imagined possible. What had started as a desperate bid for survival had opened the door to something far greater. "There will be challenges," she said thoughtfully. "Cultural differences, technological hurdles, probably more than a few impossible problems to solve." "Indeed," Lyra agreed, "which is precisely why we need this partnership. Our civilization has achieved much through perfection and protocol. Perhaps it is time we learn the value of improvisation and adaptation." "And perhaps," Kirill added, "humans can benefit from our experience, finding ways to refine their innovations without losing the spark that makes them possible." Sarah nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. "Then let's make it official. Two civilizations working together not because we have to, but because we choose to. Because we recognize that our differences aren't obstacles to overcome, but opportunities to explore." As if in response to her words, the hybrid systems pulsed with new energy, human and alien technology dancing together in perfect harmony. Above them, through the ship's massive viewing ports, the stars seemed to shine with renewed promise, not just of exploration, but of collaboration, innovation, and understanding. The universe, Sarah realized, had just become a much more interesting place, and humanity, with its unique blend of improvisation, determination, and adaptability, was ready to play its part in shaping what came next. "Well then," she said, looking at her new allies with a smile, "shall we begin?" The answer, written in the merged technologies around them and the shared purpose before them, was already clear. A new chapter in the story of both civilizations was starting, and its first words were being written in the language of cooperation, innovation, and unlimited possibility. The future, it seemed, would be hybrid, and that was exactly as it should be.